Okay. All right, so we're going to set up the, this is the Mathey Dearman Mini Jolly with the plasma speed technology. So basically once you pull the machine out of the box, you're going to have the base unit. Just simply, if the motor's not already mounted, this is all one piece. You'll simply mount this onto this bracket. There's 4 Allen keys here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tighten those down. Next, we're going to put the chain. The chain is purchased separately and sold in different sizes. So you need to make sure you have the right size for the diameter of pipe that you're going to be cutting. So the chain actually has cotter pins. So these pins can be removed at any place. And by removing the pins, you can add or take away chain to small or large pipe. So this is already set up. Once that's through, put your cotter pin in. And then you're going to want to make sure as you put the machine on the pipe that you have this side with the torch arm facing out to the side that you want to cut with. You'll notice it doesn't have it on the other side. So this side would be the side that we want facing out to the cut. Normally we would go ahead, since we have this chain already set up, just going to wrap this around. 2 wheels on there. Chain goes below like this around the pipe. And we'll slide this on. Okay. So now once that's on, we're going to tighten down with this screw. And this is actually going to feed this up and draw this in, which will tension the chain. You can see that's starting to get tight. We want to get that fairly tight around. Okay, so now that is secured to the pipe. Next, we're going to take our torch arm. So we have this piece. As you can see, there's a channel here with the rack and a flat piece here. The rack's going to be facing out, away from the machine. We're going to simply slide this into the hole designed for the torch arm here. Slide that in until it's flush. Take the Allen key, tighten this down. We've got 2 Allen screws here. Okay. This will slide on the end and simply racks back and forth here. Next, we'll take our torch holder. We're going to put this on. Slides on right here and simply tighten this down. Nice and tight there. Next, we bring in our torch. Simply slides into this. Feed this down through the rack. If you need to adjust and make it tight, you can actually tighten down here and here with 2 Allen screws. Very simple. Okay. There. In there. Okay, so that's tight. Run our hose through the hose guides here. Okay, so we're in there. Ready to go. Now next we're going to attach and bring the control box in. Control box comes with 4 magnets, so it actually magnetizes to any carbon steel pipe. You're going to have 4 connectors here. Okay, so right now what we've got 1 that's coming from here to the machine. So this cord will simply plug in with the quick connect right here. Push that on and tighten that down. We're good there. Our other cord actually ties into the plasma system. So for your plasma, you have to make sure that your plasma unit has a CPC port, which will be on the back side of the plasma. In this case, we're using a Hypertherm PowerMax 45. That cord will plug in right into that, and that automates the cutting process as far as controlling the plasma simultaneously with the machine. Once the machine is set up on here, the next thing we're going to do is, before we make any cut, we actually have to run the machine all the way around the pipe for 1 revolution, and this will help tighten and straighten our chain out. Okay? So we have a simple forward and reverse here with the digital readout. So we will run this around. One time. Okay, so that's 50% speed. And we're just going to make sure that we have this tight enough. And you'll hear the chain kind of pop and jump a little bit as it starts to straighten out. Nice travel, no jumping, everything seems smooth. So we'll run that around one time. Actually speed this up. You just want to watch your cords as you're running this around. Okay, so now we've made one revolution. So that should help straighten our chain out and make sure that we're getting nice, consistent travel for a square cut on the end. Next, we would actually come in and cut. So we would adjust our torch height simply by moving this up or down. You can actually control the bevel angle here by loosening this, and you can move the torch in or out to set your bevel angle. There's degrees on the back side of this. And then control your horizontal axis here to move that in and out. Next, you would be ready just to simply press the on-off button. This will fire your plasma and start the plasma torch. To actually cut, we recommend that you start at about 40%. And this will depend on the size of the pipe and the composition of the pipe that you're cutting. But you would actually start and then fire the plasma after the machine is moving. You don't ever want to start the plasma first and then the machine. Always start the machine first and then fire the plasma. We call that a rolling start. That will ensure that you don't have notching and you have a nice smooth cut and finish. And you can obviously adjust the speed of the cut as you're going through. If you should have a problem, there's an emergency stop on this. Simply hit this and that will stop the machine and the plasma from cutting. And that is the basic operation of the Mathey Dearman Mini Jolly plasma speed control. The plasma works with 110 or 230. You'll just have to have an adapter depending on what the plug. It will come with the standard USA plug on it. Well, we also recommend when cutting with the pipe using a Mathey Dearman hold down clamp. These can be purchased separately, part number D244 or D245, depending on the size of your pipe. This will ensure that your pipe doesn't roll. Simply locks down to the jack stands, which we're using the Mathey Dearman Sturdy Jack folding